vlog, and this is going to be trying to read as many books on my 25 and 2025 list before the end of the year. We only have, how many weeks do we have left in December? I'm filming this on December 6th, but I'm just filming the intro because honestly I'm not even starting any of these books yet until another couple of days from now. But we have exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 25 days. It's like 25 days of Christmas. Oh my god. Yeah, 7, 14, 21, 25. Because I'm not counting today because we're finishing a different book today. So I have 25 days left to finish or as many books as we possibly can on my 2025 25 and 2025 list. If I just speak like really stupidly, it's because I am so tired. But I was thinking about doing this vlog for a while, and I feel like there were a couple books that I wanted to put in potential reading vlogs, but I ended up never reading them. There's actually one vlog that I forgot. I think I forgot to save it from my older laptop where I read like books that I've been putting off, and they were all in that video, and they all ended up being 5-star reads, and they were all like general fiction. I should have just made it a general fiction vlog because they ended up being like some of my favorite books this year. But anyway, we're going to look at my 25 and 2025 list. I don't have any of the books in front of me because I'm going to tell you guys the ones that I really 100% want to get to and the hopeful ones that I want to get to because I want to read at least 4 this month. I don't know if that's going to be possible though. If we get to at least 3, I will be happy with that number. So the current number that I have finished this year is 11 out of 25. And I think that's pretty damn good because most of these included first books in series. So I basically said I wanted to read the first book in a series and then therefore binge the series after I read the first book. Because usually for me, and it's mostly like fantasy series or like YA fantasy series. For fantasy series, I have to binge the entire thing. If it's like a romance series or like a dark romance series or like even like cozy fantasy, like I just finished Legends and Lattes like last week, but I haven't gotten to the other 2 books yet because I don't have to binge those. But if it's like a romantasy series or a fantasy series or something like that and every book is out, I have to binge the entire thing. So that's why the list is a bit smaller than you would think. But I did finish 3 in the past 3 months. I kind of took a break from reading any 2025 books, 25 and 2025 books in August because I just mood read my TBR for my birthday in August. Because my birthday's in August. Wow, just like rocket science. So the last one that I had read before August was Ember in the Ashes. Because I read that entire quartet in July, like in the beginning of July. And then after that, I took a break in August. And then in September, I read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and I loved that. Then October, we read the entire Bridge Kingdom series, fell in love with it. So the Bridge Kingdom was on my list, the first book was. And then in November, we read The Will of the Many by James Islington, so we could read the second book in November as well, because it was coming out the 3rd week of November, and that is The Strength of the Few. And I included that in my most recent reading vlog before this one, of reading highly anticipated new fantasy releases for November. Like I said, I can't speak right now. So there are 4 that I'm really hoping to get to. I will tell you guys the potentials. Possibly one of them might be swapped out for a different one. But the reason why I say 4 is because I really want to complete at least 15 books off of this list. I feel like 15 is a good number. If it was a different odd number, it would annoy me because, like, for me, everything has to end in an even number. It, like, pisses me off. But since also 25 is an odd number, 15, I feel like, is a good way to end off this list. Like, it would have been great to get to all of them, but I had some chunky fantasy books on this list. I think for the 2026 list, um, I don't think I'm going to say as many first books in fantasy series. I'm probably going to just do some standalones I've been putting off, like some Chris and Hannah again, or like other books that I just have been sitting on my TBR for a while, like years. Well, not years, like a year. I'm going to put on that list, like The Kite Runner, or Mad Honey, or Once and Future Witches, Angel Mage, like stuff like that. Those are like more standalone books. I'm going to try and put as many standalone books on the list next year. And then I'll include some series if I really want to get to them next year, which there are quite a few that I want to get to next year as well. So, anyway, let's talk about the books. So, the first one, you probably are so sick of me talking about this damn book, but I am fully intending on reading it after the next book I finish, after the book that I'm reading right now. So, I have one more book to read after I finish my current read, and then I'm going to read Billy Summers by Stephen King. I know I mentioned it 5 million times. I probably included it in countless TBRs. Yes, it's on my TBR for December. I just really, really, really want to read this book. And I'm just like I said before, I haven't really been in the mood for thrillers this year that much. I haven't really read a thriller this year. I kind of want to read like some wintry setting kind of thriller, but also this is called Billy Summers. Because, his name is Summer. But I don't think it necessarily takes place in the summer. I have to look up when it actually does take place, but it doesn't make a difference. I'm still reading this damn book because I just want to get it off of my 2025 TBR. But also, like, I did start it, got 70 pages in, and then I just ran out of time to commit to it because, like, literally 10 million other books were coming out September to November. Especially November was like a huge new release month that I just ended up never going back to it, but I wanted to. So that is definitely the first book that we are 100% getting to. And if I don't, you could scream at me. Then the other standalone that's on this list, because well, actually there's 3 standalones on this list. So the second one is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This one has been sitting on my TBR for quite a while as well. I bought the book on Kindle like over a year ago, I believe, for only $5. So it was pretty cheap. And I read The Storied Life of AJ Vickery by Gabrielle Zevin last November. And I enjoyed it. I wasn't like obsessed with it, but I still really enjoyed the writing. Like it was good. That I really just want to see what all the hype is about for Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Because I did start this book. I read 20 pages of it and then again just ran out of time. It's not even really softy and effing it. It's just because I simply just got distracted by, you could call them both softy and Fs. But it's not like I wasn't even in the mood for them. I wanted to read these books because I was enjoying what I was reading. I just simply ran out of time and got distracted by 10 million other books. So it's not even like softy and effing. But technically it is. But I really want to go get to this book before the year is over because, again, it's a standalone. There's so many people that love it, and I'm just really, really in the mood to read it at this point. And then the next one, which these are the 3 that are potentials that could be swapped out, is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Now, yes, I've never read a Brandon Sanderson book before. I also have never read a Stephen King book. And I would like to check off both of those tests this month before the end of 2025 to say, oh yeah, I've read a Stephen King book. I've read a Brandon Sanderson book. Not that it matters, but I really want to. And this is supposed to be a standalone fantasy book, but apparently, according to Mariana Reeds on YouTube, she said there's no way this book is a standalone. I don't know where she got her sources from, but she had said that this might be not just a standalone. I mean, this one says the Cosmere number 7. But I really do want to get to it this month. I'm going to still count it as a standalone because it says everywhere it's a standalone book. So we are going to try and read that this month. I'm not sure how successful we are going to be, but we're sure as hell going to try. Because honestly, my December TBR, it's not really insane with other books. I have like 18 more books on my TBR, so that'll be like, I kind of really want to get to at least 20 books this month. I've already read 3. I'm actually 4. Because I finished the audiobook that I was listening to in the beginning of the month in December finally. I'm gonna fall asleep if I don't get up soon. And then I read Grim and Oro, which was like 2 different novellas in one, but they counted as 2 different books. And then Crown Tide by the same author, which is the 4th book in the Lightlark Saga. And now I'm reading Sweet Venom by Rena Kent because I just needed a dark romance and it came out the same day as Crown Tide, so and I was really looking forward to it too. So the next one is I'm so tired, but I'm just looking at my list really quick. Oh, the 4th one. Did I say 2nd one? No. Yeah, so the 3rd one's Warbreaker. The 4th one would be either, even though I really want to read Book of Azrael over Dance of Thieves. So Book of Azrael is by Ambervina Cole and Dance of Thieves is by Mary E. Pearson. Book of Azrael is its own series. It's standalone. You can read it in the order that it was published. With Book of Azrael being the first book. It's a dark fantasy romance or dark romantasy, whatever, dark romantasy. Or I can go for Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, which is just a duology. And I thought that how many times do I have to rhyme? I was thinking about possibly going for the duology because then I don't have to commit to like a 4-book series. But also, I was thinking about just reading Book of Azrael as my last book that I read in 2025 and then just carrying over the first 3 books into the first week of January. I don't think there's necessarily that many books that I'm going to be reading in January that are like new releases because I think most of them come out like February through April, but I could be wrong. There's also like a romance book that I want to read that comes out December 30th that I'm going to read in January because I'm obviously not going to read it in December because it comes out too late. I don't know why they release so many books on the 30th of December. I guess because they still want to technically make it a 2025 release. I don't know, whatever. So the first one is Book of Azrael and the second one is Dance of Thieves. I'm kind of more in the mood to start Book of Azrael. I don't know. I'm not really inspired to pick up Dance of Thieves. I've had it for so long, and I don't know at this point if I've completely lost my interest in picking up those books. I honestly think I need to read Kiss of Deception first. And I'm kind of more inclined to read Kiss of Deception. But also I really want to read Fireborn or Book of Azrael. Those would be like the 3 that I would be the most torn. But also if I read Dance of Thieves, then I would want to read both before December is over and before 2025 is over. Like I did that last year with 6 of Crows. But also I still haven't picked up King of Scars and Rule of Wolves by Lee Bardugo. Because I read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom as my last 2 books in 2024. I could read King of Scars and Rule of Wolves for 2025, but it's not on my 2025 TBR, like my 25 and 2025, like Book of Azrael and Dance of Thieves are. So I'm not sure which one. We will be updating you as we get to the books, because I feel like these are just books I'm delaying because maybe I think they're overhyped. Maybe there's just other reasons why I just want to pick it up right now. Maybe I'm just not in the mood. Maybe because I've lost interest. Maybe because I'm delaying it because it's a long book. There can be multiple reasons why we don't want to pick up a book. So I'm not really sure. But I know I want to get to Billy Summers and Tomorrow. Those 2 books are going to be guaranteed to finish, because I'm actually really excited for Tomorrow. The other 2, because they're part of series, I'm not really sure. I was looking at the rest of the list, and every other book that I put on it are all part of series. So at least I basically finished all the standalone books that were on there. So yeah, that's it. We're going to start this when I start Billy Summers, because we're 100% reading it in this vlog. So yeah, that's it. Bye. I'm too tired to talk anymore. I'm sorry. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I wanted to give you guys an update on where I'm at in one of the books that I started for this 25 and 2025 vlog. So I finally started rereading where I restarted this book, not reread it. I just reread the whole start of this book, and then I think I pretty much got up to the place that I just stopped reading it, but I'm loving it. So now I can actually commit the time to reading it, and that is Billy Summers by Stephen King. And you guys know that this book has been on my TBR for forever, and I'm finally reading it, and I'm absolutely loving it. I think this book is literally amazing. I can't even say that much, but basically Billy Summers is this main character's alias. And I think it's kind of he doesn't just create identities of himself to protect himself, because he is a hitman. So he has to change identities all the time, and he works for these 2 mafia guys. But he makes it his entire personality. People can't even call him his real name. They call him Billy Summers. Billy Summers is a complete made up person. So I think his real name is Dave, because someone tried to call him Dave in the book, and then they correct themselves really quick, and they say Billy, and I'm just oh, is it some kind of multi or split personality kind of disorder thing? Because that's what I'm thinking that it is, because I think Billy Summers is probably an unreliable narrator, but also he is revealing quite a few truths about himself as well. So it's very, very layered, but also I'm having a fantastic time. This is already shocking me, and it's barely even started yet, because I'm only on page 79, because I started falling asleep around 75 pages in, but I read a good 50 something pages of this physically today. So I think that's a win, because I actually started reading the physical book. Before, when I started it months ago, I was about to say years ago, but no, I started it earlier this year. I had just listened to the audiobooks. The audiobook narrator is fantastic, but also for some reason, I was so intimidated to pick this book up, because it is a chunker. It's not short, but honestly, I'm going to love every moment of this. And once I started actually reading it, I love actually reading the book, because it's not half as intimidating as I thought actually physically reading it. So far, I'm having a great time. And then after I finish this book, I'm just going to go right into Tomorrow, because I really want to read that as well. So at least we'll get 2 books read out of the 3. I'm hoping to get to Book of Azrael. Literally, it's one of the last books that I read this year. I'm not sure. but at least we will finish this book and tomorrow. So I'm hoping to read 3 books in this video, but also like I said before, put too many like series on my 25 and 2025 list, and I'm trying to just get like the standalone books done at least before the year is over, because that's obviously a lot easier for me to do. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on going. He is currently writing a book about like his life, but it's not really it's just so fascinating. This book is so fascinating. And also he has like jobs that he's assigned to, but also they ask him to write a book, and I don't really understand why they ask him to write this book. Maybe it's for his identity on where he's staying. I think that's why. And they said that they still want to read it though. So, yeah, I think that's why, because he has to take on the persona of who he is right now. I don't think he's Billy Summers. I think he's a different alias right now. I forget the name already. It's like this really cliche name, but yeah, it's so good, and I don't really want to give anything else away, but I will update you guys when I get further in, probably halfway through. So yeah, bye for now. Okay, so hey there, guys. So call me a liar, because I did not make a halfway through update on Billy Summers by Stephen King, because I fucking finally finished this book. I finally read it. I finally read Stephen King's Billy Summers, and I've been saying it for freaking months how much I wanted to read this book every month, and it just, since there wasn't half as many new releases this month, I finally had time to get some books off of my TBR that have been in my TBR for a while. And honestly, this was the only one I really cared about getting off my TBR, and I finished it 2 days ago, actually. I finished it Tuesday afternoon. It's now Thursday afternoon, and I'm 60% into the next book that we're reading in this video already. But that's neither here nor there, because I'm going to talk about how much I freaking loved this book so much. Like, I know that people have very mixed opinions about Stephen King, and some of his books are very hit and miss. But this was the only one I really cared about reading, because I've heard nothing but amazing things about this one in particular. From all the YouTubers that I watch, most of them have said that they've loved this book. And I have to agree. I freaking loved this so much. It's a very unique way of looking at things, in this book, through Billy Summers' perspective the entire time. And what I loved about this book so much is that it's told in the third person by Billy Summers, because he's writing his life story. And then the character that he meets later on, I'm not going to say the name or anything because I feel like that would be a spoiler, finishes his story. And it's written in the third person because he's literally telling his story as it's happening, but also he's telling you like his experience of what he had to go through when he was writing this story. And it's so Breaking Bad encoded. I felt like I was reading a like Breaking Bad movie reading this book. Like, I love Breaking Bad so much, so why I hadn't gotten to this earlier, like I said, it's just, right place, right time, right book, right time, whatever you want to call it. And you guys, this was 6 stars, okay? This was a 6-star book. Best thriller I read all year. I haven't really been reading that many thrillers this year because, like I've said before, I've kind of fallen out of love of the genre, because I just feel like thriller books are so hit and miss for me. And it's just, I've only been reading like a couple of Freida McFadden books because I've just been reading her new releases. And honestly, this is a freaking masterpiece, you guys. Like, this is brilliantly written. And now I understand why people love Stephen King's writing so much. But also, it's not even like if the books are well written, it's like the characters that he has created in his crazy mind that literally terrify you he has had such an impact on not just the book world, but the like arts in general with movies and shows, and he's inspired so many other writers to write their books, and like he's an icon. He's an icon. And the fact that I finally can say I read a Stephen King book, some people are like very polarized about it. Like I was telling um one of my coworkers yesterday, he's an English teacher and also he works at the Apple store. And I said to him yesterday, I was like, I finally finished my first Stephen King book. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I was like, "Why? Why would you say that?" And he's like, because, Stephen King, he's very he actually prefers his short stories over his novels. So there's a lot of different opinions about him. So I just loved it. I wish that this was a movie at some point. Maybe they are working on it because he just had two of his most famous books adapted into movies. I don't know if I might read The Running Man at some point, but I really want to see the movie. But that's like literally the only other one that I'm interested in reading because that's more of like a thriller as well. And the concept just seems so interesting. So I might put that on my 26 and 2026 next year. There's so many books I want to get to next year too. The fact that I've read like over 200 books already this year, and the fact that I haven't even scratched. I mean, I did get to some really good series that had been on my TBR for the entire year that I finally read. So I can't say that I haven't read like amazing books this year or gotten to books or continued series that I've loved. So, but there are a shit ton of books that I still want to read next year. So it's just like ridiculous how many books that can be out there for us to discover. So yeah, I really can't say any more about this. I just wanted to say Billy Summers isn't crazy. Like, I don't know if this was, I think that this was truth, but also like there's so many other things that could be like, I think it was mostly truth being told from his perspective. I can't even really explain what I was going to say, but basically, he's on the run halfway through the book because he does execute the plan that he had to, for the guys that he was working for. And that plan goes totally awry. And now Billy Summers wants to get even with the guys that hired him. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say. There's also a character that stumbles into his life that it is crazy. That chapter was insane when I was reading it. But I was like, wow, this is like the way that Stephen King just like shapes a character is brilliant. And like, I don't know, being in Billy Summers' head this whole time was amazing. I really loved the audiobook as well. I listened to a lot of the audiobook. I probably only read maybe 120 or 130 pages of the physical book because everybody said the audiobook was so good. But I still read the physical book too. So I'm just so happy I finally got this off my list. I really need to do that more often and like shoot up other books that I've been on my TBR for forever. And actually read them. There are some I might even just declutter and not even read them because there are some books that I just have no desire to pick up and read anymore. I'm going to give it one more year though. If I don't read them next year, they're going to be leaving my collection or leaving my library, I mean, because I just feel like not that I don't think that I can get to all the books on my TBR because I can. There's really not as many as people think. I am going to do a final count of my physical TBR when the year is over, because I only have 2 more on my TBR cart right now for December, and then 1 on my bedstand. So I have 3 more physical books that I want to read this year, and then every other book is, but I might change one of the physical books to a 25 and 2025 book, because I don't know if I'm going to get to the Book of Azrael. I might read a different book on my 25 and 2025 because it's the only other standalone that's on my 2025 list. So anyway, I love this. It was amazing. So we'll see. So I wanted to talk about the next book that I was reading for this video. And I think I told you guys that this was the one I was going to go into. I don't want to lose the page that I'm on, so I'm going to go on my Kindle. Actually, I could have already pulled up the title, but it's fine. So, I'm reading this one on my Kindle, and then I'm going into a physical book again after this. I'm going to be going into my Christmas TBR after this, because I realized, like, if I don't go into it now, like, I did finish a Christmas book earlier this weekend. Earlier this week, I finished a Christmas book over the weekend. Can I speak? And then I decided to go into my 25 and 2025 books. Because this was like the only week I really had time to read them. So I finally started reading Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I did read the story of A.J. Fickery, the storied life of A.J. Fickery last November. And what's so funny about me going into this book now, and I just wanted to say I'm 61% of the way through, and I'm on page 241. And this book is only less than 400 pages, so I should be able to finish it tonight. I'm going to read until I have to go to work later, because I don't have to work until 5. I did work yesterday, but I did get more than halfway through yesterday, because I read like a few chapters yesterday, because I worked 1 to 9 yesterday. So I read around like 50 something pages last night. And then I just got so sleepy, but of course I never fall asleep anyway, so anyway, and then I'm going to go into my Christmas TBR after this. So this book has been on my TBR since like I did start it at one point. I don't remember when though. I don't remember if I started it this past summer or if I started it like earlier than that. I know I started it at the nail salon one day, and I got through like 20 pages of it, and I was enjoying it so much, but, then just, 10 million other books came out, but I felt like this was the right time to read it. And what's so funny is that this book takes place during mostly before and after Christmas, and they always talk about Christmas like every year. And I'm like, this is so funny that I decided to read it in December, because I had no idea most of it took place during Christmas. So it's like, it's kind of perfect that I waited until now. So basically this book is about Sadie and Sam. It's so cute that they're like, both of their names start with the same letter. And basically they're both very damaged, abused people. And there's a lot of tough things to read about in this book, but also, like, the way that this book flows, I love it so much more than The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery. I still really liked that book, but this one, I understand why so many people love this book. There's a couple of things that made me feel like this book does make you feel pretty uncomfortable in certain parts, but I feel like, that was the point of this book, because it's kind of reminding me of reading 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I feel like that they have a similar kind of relationship. If you haven't read that book is amazing too. So I might change that book to a 5-star, because that book was so good. And I do want to read more Tia Williams in the future. Because that's the only one I've read by her so far. But anyway, they meet because Sadie's sister, Alice, I believe is her name. I keep on feeling like they're using her name in a different way, and it's kind of confusing me a little bit. I don't know if Alice is her friend or her sister, but basically I'm just going to say her sister. I'm not going to say her name because I don't really remember who she is. But basically her sister is in the hospital because she has cancer. And Sadie was supposed to go away to like space camp or summer camp for the summertime. But now she's like, she has to stay home and visit her sister in the hospital. And she ends up befriending Sam because, he's just, a boy that's like, I think near like one of the rooms, or maybe they're like sharing the room. I really can't remember how she stumbles upon him. And basically she starts talking to him, and they develop like some kind of friendship, and the nurse is like, how did you get Sam to talk? He doesn't really talk to anybody. He doesn't talk to his therapist. He doesn't really talk to anyone. She's like, oh, I just talked to him about normal stuff. And they're like, what? And she's like, video games. So they basically form a bond where they just love video games, and as they grow up they start designing video games together. And the depth of their relationship, it's not even scratching the surface the way that I'm describing what's going on. I feel like you really just have to read this book in order to understand. I really don't want to say like what kind of trauma they go through either, because you need to go into this book if you haven't read it yet. This is why I think this book is going to be a 5-star. I don't know if it's going to be a 6-star, but I think it's going to be a 5-star read, because there's already so many things that I absolutely love about this book. I did cry a little bit yesterday because there was a tough part that I was reading. So basically, I just wanted to say, I'll say this. Sadie and Sam come from two opposite sides of like different classes. So like Sadie's always been like very taken care of, and Sam has not been, but his mother always loved him. He just, wasn't well off, or really didn't come from anything like Sadie did. And Sam has this horrible, not even injury, just like complete shattering of his leg, because he got in like an accident when he was a kid. And that's all I'm going to say. And it shattered his leg in like 27 different places. And basically, he has to live with that leg never being healed for most of his, childhood and growing up. And there's like some parts where like his leg won't stop bleeding, and it's a little bit gross to read about. Not like graphic, but just like, holy shit, like he's never going to be able to fix this. And eventually he's going to have to lose the leg. And now he's suffering from even more PTSD. I forget what the syndrome is called that they said that he's experiencing now, because he's experiencing like this pain, this excruciating pain, even though the leg isn't there anymore. I could talk about this book for forever because there's so much in it. That he has to live with this pain for forever, and he has like these kind of episodes with the leg. I really cannot talk with this light on. I'm sorry. It's so goddamn bright. I'm going to turn it off and just have this light on, because this light just makes me so tired. So, yeah, so he's living with that pain, but also he's always loved Sadie, I mean. He's always loved Sam. Yeah, he's always loved himself. No, he hasn't loved himself at all, to be honest. And, he won't ever really tell her how much he loves her, because he thinks his body is broken. So it's just like, it's so sad. Because it's like, just be with her. She doesn't care if your body's broken. She would understand. But Sadie's in this really extremely toxic, horrible relationship with a married man. And we're talking about physical, mental abuse to like the extreme. And she just, it's crazy the way that she just like just dealt with these things like they were normal. Like, because I think that she's experiencing some kind of Stockholm syndrome, and also they do talk about it in this book as well a lot, with the character that he ends up befriending and almost loving like halfway through this book. Oh, it's so goddamn good. It's so good. And there are some questionable things that he thinks about, but also it kind of makes sense, because if he was saying that the character was experiencing some kind of Stockholm syndrome, it's hard to describe these kind of relationships, because the people like basically trauma bond because they're living through the same thing. It's not like, you don't look at these characters having like a bad relationship in this book. They actually have a very good relationship with each other, just like society wouldn't really make sense of why they're, friends.
But like, and that's all I'm gonna say. But in Tomorrow, it's an extremely toxic, bad relationship for her. Like, it's like the complete opposite. So I feel like Stockholm syndrome can have two different meanings sometimes. I'm just so it's crazy that I'm reading these books so close together because it has like different meanings of what that could mean to the victim. Because like with Billy Summers, she's not a victim befriending Billy. It's like the complete opposite. So like it's interesting. It's very interesting and I'm absolutely loving this book and I'm excited to get this book off my TBR as well because I think it's been on my TBR for like 2 years as well. So, yeah, after that, I'm going to go into my Christmas books and I'm going to see what book I'm going to end. I'm literally going to end the year with this book, or I might just read it right before the last book that I read this year. But also, I kind of wanted to end the year with a book and from my 25 and 2025 list. So, yeah, I will let you guys know which book I decide to go into after this, but I'm going to let you know when I finish tomorrow. So, yeah, bye.
Okay, I don't know if I'm blind, but I cannot find the clip of where I said that I finished Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I did make one check-in when I started it and where I was at in the book in the next clip that you're gonna see. Well, never mind. I mean after the clip because I'm gonna tell you guys what my thoughts were of the book before I go into the last book in this video. I really loved it. I don't really remember where I was at or what was happening. Like basically, I don't really want to explain it again because I already explained like what the book was about. But I did end up rating this book 5 stars because I just really loved the writing. I really enjoyed the story. All the books in this video were so good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just going to tell you guys that I rated it 5 stars. I don't really want to get into it anymore because one, I'm lazy, and two, I just don't feel like explaining it because I already did before. I don't know why the hell I can't find the clip. So now we're going to go into the final book that we read in this video for this 25 and 2025 TBR.
Okay, so hey there, guys. So I wanted to let you guys know which book I actually decided to go into for the last book that I'm going to read in this video, and also the last book that I'm going to read on my 25 and 2025 list for 2025. So this is going to be my 14th book off of my 25 and 2025 list. So that is more than half of the list, which I'm very proud of myself for completing that. Honestly, this was really fun to do for my first year doing it. Next year, I'm probably going to just move all of the series that I didn't get to this year to next year, and I'll hopefully be able to get to them next year. There are quite a few that I want to read next year because the next book is coming out in those series, so I want to be caught up with them by the time the books come out. So anyway, the one we decided to go into, and I'm so excited to tell you guys, I just need to update where I'm actually at in the book because I just listened to 3 more chapters. So give me like 2 seconds. I'm still fighting off sickness, so bear with me with my voice because I got sick like a couple days ago from working holiday at Apple's. So yeah. So anyway, the book I decided to go into was Brandon Sanderson's Warbreaker. Finally, I'm going into my first Brandon Sanderson book. I started this morning. I'm almost, I think I'm like it says in the audiobook I'm 44% of the way through already. Today. Because I only went out for like 3 hours today because I met my friend Becca. Because we ended up getting a snowstorm tonight. So I got home at like a little bit after 4:30. Like, I just went to meet her at Barnes around 1:30. I got there at 1:30 because I left the house at 1 because I didn't really want to be stuck out where we were going after 4 o'clock. I wanted to be on the way home before 4 because it was supposed to start snowing like a little bit before 5. It started like 4:50. It started like 5 minutes after I got home. And when I walked Merlin when I came home, it literally just started snowing as soon as I walked him. So anyway, finally went into this guy, and then we ate lunch together. at this like Asian place that's like next to Barnes. We went to the one that's not close to me. It's like 20 minutes away, but it's a little bit easier for her to get there. So, or I think it is. I don't know. Whatever. I didn't really mind going there because she's actually been coming to my Barnes a lot, so I was like I really didn't mind meeting her this time. Sorry, my throat. And then I swung by Walgreens to pick up some NyQuil and Fisherman's Friend cough drops because these are amazing lifesavers for the cough that I'm having right now. And then I got my NyQuil, so it's right next to me. I needed those before I went home because I'm like, I knew my throat was going to be dying by the time I got home. So anyway, I'm so happy I finally decided to go into this. This is so much less intimidating than I thought it was going to be. I was literally hooked from the very first page. I think even the first sentence, because this is the first sentence. Hold on. I'm going to read you the first sentence because I was literally so blown away. Well, actually, yeah. It's funny, Vasher thought, how many things begin with my getting thrown into prison. And I'm like, why is he in prison? Like, that's like such an incredible, intriguing first sentence. And I'm like, okay, I need to know all about this character. So, anyway, this is a standalone novel of the Cosmere universe shared by the Stormlight Archive and the Mistborn Saga. So I haven't read either of those yet, but I did get this recommendation from Books with Emily Fox on YouTube, and she said, you don't really need to go into all the other books. You can just start with this one. She's like, that's what I did. And she's like, I feel like it's a lot less intimidating to go into this first because it's a standalone novel. I might read his other standalone, which I think is Elantris. I think I'm going to read that next year because so far I'm absolutely fucking loving this book. I'm loving it so much. I'm hooked from every single character, every single page. It's so fucking good. I'm loving it. I thought I was going to be like so intimidated by like the world building in this because everybody says Brandon Sanderson has a lot of heavy world building in it, but also he makes his books very easily consumable, is what I would say. And also, some of the dialogue in this book is fucking hilarious. I've been laughing my ass off at some of the things they say in here. He's hysterical. So anyway, it's just some such funny parts in this book. So basically, this is about Ciri and Lightsong. Lightsong is a god, and a god who is skeptical of his own divinity, who fears that war with Idris is inevitable. So basically, Lightsong is the new king of the gods, and he does not remember anything about his mortal life. And I just think that's so fucking fascinating because I've never really read a book where they talk about much about the gods' immortal life besides the games gods play and the things gods break. They don't really mention like their immortal life until they become a god that much. But in this, they mention it that it's like a complete mystery to him. And he keeps on like asking like his servants or like his other subjects or royalty, why can't I remember anything? They're like, why does it matter? Like, you shouldn't be asking about that anyway. You're a god now. And Ciri is betrothed to Lightsong, and basically she wasn't supposed to marry him. She's I think she's the elder sister, because he was supposed to marry the other sister, which is kind of similar to like Shield of Sparrows. Maybe she took it directly from this, but I'm sure that's a trope that's kind of common in fantasy books. But anyway, she ends up getting shipped off to marry Lightsong. And basically, the magic system in this book is that everybody has breaths, and they each represent a color. And at first, when I first heard about this magic system, I was like, am I gonna like this? Because I'm like, colors, it like just seems like a little, cheesy. And I'm like, I'm literally so fascinated. And I feel like that's such an easy way to explain the magic system in this book, because I'm hooked on every word and I understand everything that's going on in this book. And I feel like you just need to read this. She is very unique though, because she can change her color at any time. And she can also change her hair to like a certain color. Um, that she doesn't need to like, but I think her main color is blue because that's on the cover. Um, so basically, I don't want to say anything else. That's basically what it's about so far because my throat's also dying. So I'm gonna stop talking right now, but I'm on page 286, and this is a 650-page book, and I'm literally hooked on every single word. I don't feel like this is too long at all. I literally cannot wait to see what happens because it's a standalone. So obviously, since it's called Warbreaker, maybe she stops the war. I don't know. But I'm kind of looking forward to there being a big fucking bloodbath towards like maybe 50 or 60, maybe like 60 or 70% of this book. I'm really hoping there's a war, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to stop because my throat is dying. So I'll check in with you guys when I get further into the book. So bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So before I give you guys an update on where I'm at in Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, I just wanted to correct myself first about who Siri is betrothed to. She's not betrothed to Lightsong. She's betrothed to the current king, which the current king is not Lightsong. It's Susurran, I think it's called. I think that's his name. I'm not really sure how to say it. Hold on. Susebron. Susebron, he's the current king of the gods. And he can't talk. He actually has no tongue because he lost his tongue because he got punished. And basically it's easier for like the priests or like other people to be able to manipulate or abuse him and abuse his power for their own good. Also, right now, so anyway, that's all I wanted to update you guys on. So I'm currently reading it on my Kindle, but I'm also reading quite a bit of it physically, and I'm also listening to it. So I'm reading this in all three formats because I just can't get enough of this book. So currently I'm on page 529 on my Kindle. I'm on chapter 49. I'm kind of in the middle of a chapter. Because it's like a 30-page chapter and I had to go eat dinner. I also called out of work today because honestly, like, I probably would have called out of work anywhere I went, but also I haven't been to work since Christmas Eve because I was off yesterday and I had a feeling I wasn't going to be able to work today anyway. It still says I'm on page 529 physically as well. So basically the Kindle version is lining up exactly with the physical version. So anyway, I've read quite a bit of this. I read like 40 pages of this physically today, and I read like a couple chapters on here just now, like right before dinner. And then I listened to quite a bit of it because I was cleaning my room a bit. But there was no way I was gonna be able to work today because you don't realize like how much you actually talk working at Apple, because we are selling product, helping customers all day, so we're always using our voices constantly. Yeah, there would have been no way that I would have not had like a calling attack, what? A coughing attack talking to a customer. So anyway, there's multiple different storylines going on right now. I'm not going to give that much away. We just know a war is brewing right now, okay? No war has happened yet, but I feel like something big is going to happen soon. I feel like someone might die. I'm not really sure yet. I feel like someone's going to have to sacrifice themselves in order for there to be any kind of resolvement. Not really, I'm not going to say peace, but like resolve to like the problems that are going on right now. And the multiple different storylines with, I mean, we're only following 3 different characters. We're following Siri, we're following Siri's sister, and we're following Lightsong. And then we're getting a little bit of the king's perspective as well. So they're basically the 4 main characters of this book, and I'm eating up every single second. Like I said, I'm still absolutely devouring this. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm trying to see if I could finish this tonight. That'd be insane. Because I didn't go anywhere today because we had a snowstorm last night. Christmas doesn't really count when I don't go somewhere because it's Christmas and I don't go anywhere. But today, it's because I'm recovering from sickness. Like, I actually have plans every single day after this. I mean, I'm just working tomorrow. I'm just working 4.5 hours tomorrow. And Monday night, I'm also working 4 hours. And then Tuesday morning, I'm working 4 hours. So it's not really going to be that bad. So I'm working up until Tuesday. And like I said, I was supposed to work today, but and also I put in sick time today, so at least I got paid because that is nice because we get sick time. So that's really nice. And literally the only time I've used sick time before was once back in September after I got sick after launch. I only used 1 sick day, so now this is only my second sick day that I've taken because I'm actually fucking dying. So anyway, so yeah, I'm loving it. Can't wait to see what happens. I don't really want to say anything else, but right now, yeah, I can't really say anything else without spoiling anything. So I'm not going to. I'm just so excited for what happens. Just if this has been, or any Brandon Sanderson book that has been on your TBR for a long time, I strongly encourage you to do what I did. Wait 2 years and then pick it up. No, but seriously, like, if you have the time. Because, like, I hate when people are like, what are you doing when you don't read this book? Like, I get sometimes, like, are you living under a rock that you haven't heard of this? Or, like, if you haven't read The Hunger Games, that's why I finally read The Hunger Games this year. Like, books like that, I get. They're like, how the hell have you not read The Hunger Games, you know? But, like, I feel like there's some kind of pressure sometimes when people are like, if you haven't read those, you've been living under a rock. Like, people get to the books that they want to get to. I know there's going to be some books, there's still some books that are sitting on my TBR for almost 2 years. Red Queen has been on my TBR since January of 2024. Because that's when I picked up the box set. And I still haven't read it yet. But I picked up this, and I picked up Billy Summers. And I'm feeling real good about that. I'm not really sure how long this one has been on my TBR from Goodreads. I'm kind of curious. When did I add it? See all your activity. It only says 1 year ago. Okay, that's not that long ago. It might have been like last January or something. But I know it's been sitting on my TBR this whole year, so it's still been over a year at least, and I'm so happy I finally did. I'm so happy that I can finally say this year that I've read a Stephen King book and then I've read a Brandon Sanderson book. Like, it feels really, really good that I finally got to both of them. And then the last 2 books that I'm going to get to this year, it's the 3rd book in the Legends and Lattes series by Travis Baldree, which is Brigands and Bread Knives. That's also a 2025 release. It came out in November. I read Bookshops and Bone Dust a couple weeks ago, and I am so ready to catch up with that series. So I just wanted to spread them out a little bit because I didn't want to read all of them in a row because I don't need to binge that series. I just want to finish the most current book. And then I'm ending the year with my buddy read with Felicia because me and her have done probably 2 buddy reads per month. or if she doesn't get to it in the month that we're supposed to read it, she'll just read it like a couple weeks later, and then we'll talk about it when we see each other. We actually haven't seen each other in like a couple of weeks. Cause like usually when the holidays roll around, me and her don't see each other until like after like Christmas or New Year's. Like this is like the first year that I've known her. How did I get a piece of hair in my mouth? I didn't even touch my face. They just be flying in my mouth all the time. But anyway, I'm gonna read If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Very excited to read that. I'm actually really in the mood for like a dark academia. So went back to my fantasy after I read my Christmas books, and I'm ending the year with a very high fantasy and a cozy fantasy and then a dark academia. So honestly, I'm so excited. And then my first book of 2026, but we probably will end up starting to read it on the 31st. And I feel like I did the same thing last year, which is totally fine because I'm not going to finish it till the 1st, which is really not a big deal. I'm going to be finishing a series before 2026 or the first day of 2026 because the 4th book in the When in Rome series by Sarah Adams comes out on the 30th, and I already ordered it from Barnes & Noble yesterday with my friend because, like I said, the only thing that I did out of the house the past 2 days was I went to Barnes & Noble with my friend Becca so I could spend the Barnes & Noble gift cards that she gifted me, my other friend Danielle gifted me, and my sister gifted me for Christmas. So we went to Barnes & Noble yesterday, and then we had lunch together, and then, like I said, it snowed for the entire rest of the day and all night. So, but I already knew I was sick anyway, so there was no way I was going to work today. So I'm going to be reading the 4th book in the When in Rome series, which is called In Your Dreams. And then we will be finishing that series by the time January 1st rolls around. I'll see if I can finish it, but honestly, probably not. I don't want to like rush to try and finish like 3 more books. Like, I think finishing 2 more books is sufficient because then I will have read 224 books this year, which is fucking insane. So I'm going to go. I'm going to check in when I finish this book. So bye, because I can't talk anymore. So bye.
Okay, so hey there, guys. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I did finish Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson literally this morning. I finished it like via audiobook like at 2 a.m. I was like kind of falling asleep during the last like half hour. So I went back and re-listened to like the last 3 chapters before that. But I still marked it as finished, and this was, I don't know if this is a 6-star or a 5-star read. I loved this so much. This was amazing. Honestly, all the books that I read in this video were fantastic. I'm so glad that I was finally able to get to my first Brandon Sanderson book. I understand the hype now. I understand why he's so loved, but also, like, since this is just a standalone, I don't know how I'm going to feel about the other books, but I really do want to get to some of his books in the closer future, not like so distant future at some point, but I loved this. I don't really want to give anything else away about the ending, but pretty much things got resolved by the end of the book. There was some more happening, but there was kind of like a bunch of small battles, which I thought was what was gonna happen, and then also it's just, there's so many things in this book that is like too spoilery to talk about at the end, but I just loved every single second of the ending because there was so much action, there was so much going on, but like, I've never really read anything quite like Brandon Sanderson's writing because he builds and builds and builds, not just on the world building, but on the characters. So like, they're so multi-layered, and there's so many things that what they say and also like what they think and what's described in the narration that like means so much more than what it actually says, and I absolutely love that. But it's not like confusing in any way. It's just so well done, so well written. 5 million stars. I love this so much.
I honestly loved every single book that I read in this video, so I honestly don't know if I can rank these because I just loved all of them so much. So first off, we read Stephen King's Billy Summers, and like I said, I finally read my first Stephen King book, and I loved this so much. This was a 6-star read for me. This was my favorite, absolute favorite thriller that I read this year. I just freaking loved this book so much. I'm going to be thinking about this book for a long time. This might have been my favorite book in this video. I think I know what my ranking would be, but I loved Warbreaker so much too because they're all three different genres. Like this was a uh action thriller, like assassination type of thriller, and then we read a general fiction love story, and then we read a fantasy. So all different genres, but honestly, this is kind of getting me into hopefully picking up some more thrillers next year because like I said, with thrillers, it's so hit and miss for me right now that I don't really read them that much as I did anymore. But I absolutely love this. It was so amazing. Um, oh my god, this light is so bright. It doesn't really need to be that bright, so you can still see me. And then, of course, like I said, we read. Just give me 1 second to bring up the cover. So then we read Gabrielle Zevin's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Again, absolutely love this book. Another 5-star read. Just amazing. The only thing that I wish that would have happened in this book a little bit sooner, but I kind of understand why they didn't kiss really at any point until like the very end, is because of the two main characters. Like, there was just multiple reasons why they wouldn't be together. Like, for you as the reader, you're like, can they just be together? But there's like so many things that contribute to them not being together, but it's like more so in one of the characters' heads as opposed to the other. But it's just such an amazing book. They, like I said, they go through the gigs in this book. Same thing in this book. I mean, not this book. Billy Summers. They go through the gigs in that book as well. Love this book so much. So good. And then of course the last one, like I said, Brandon Sanderson's Warbreaker. I don't know if this is a 6-star read. I'm kind of conflicted as to whether or not this was a 5-star or a 6-star read. I think I have to go back and listen to a little bit more again. I think because it was so late and I was like half falling asleep that I really need to just listen to a little bit more of this again before I settle on my full rating. But I think it's a 6-star, but I absolutely loved this. So honestly, all these books were amazing. I think I would say Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, then Warbreaker, then Billy Summers. I just loved Billy Summers so much. That was probably my favorite book that I read in this video. But again, I would recommend all of these. They're all amazing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. Also check out my Goodreads and my TikTok listed below in the description box. I review every single book on Goodreads. So I actually did leave the house today. Yesterday, I didn't go anywhere because I called out of work. But I did work today. I only worked 4 hours today. And then I went out to dinner with my family. We just got back. And it was so good. So good. So yeah. And I work tomorrow night, and I also work Tuesday afternoon. And then we'll be doing some things with my friends. I just wanted to like recover a little bit more before I go out with my friends. So yeah, that's it. And keep reading and let me know if you guys have read any of these books as well. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.